Holly and welcome back to H&R Fam. If you guys are new here, I have not uploaded in a while, but I am finally uploading my first trimester update. I am officially out of my first trimester, but I thought I'd share with you guys anyways, just so that I can document it. But basically the only reason why I haven't uploaded is because my first trimester was really difficult for me, you know, with physically and emotionally, and I will get into that in just a second. So, starting off, the first symptom or problematic thing that was going on in my first trimester was very emotional, and that was the fact that I experienced a first trimester loss in my first pregnancy, so just before this pregnancy. And that fear was always in the back of my mind that I was going to lose this baby, even though I had a feeling and I knew that it probably wouldn't happen again. But it's the fear of loss, and if any of you guys have gone through it, please let me know how you guys coped, because some days were definitely harder than others, and some days I was totally fine and super excited and get ready to want to buy a bunch of baby stuff, and then in the next moment I was like, no, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have bought that baby stuff. I should just return it. And I was dealing with a lot of emotions throughout the first trimester, and I'm so glad that that's over, but the fear has not left, and I don't think it will leave until the baby's actually here in my arms and I know that it's safe, and then it will bring on a whole other new worry of, you know, with the baby. So that is the first thing that I experienced. The second thing is nausea and vomiting, which was my worst symptom. It was an everyday occurrence, vomiting really bad to the point where I was actually put on medication. Because I could not keep water, food, I couldn't keep nothing down. I was constantly throwing up, and that lasted all the way up. Even now, I can go maybe a week or 2 weeks, and then I still get sick, which is totally normal. But let me tell you, vomiting for every day, it was for 2 months, so 8 weeks. I think I started at about 8 weeks, and I went until about 14 weeks or somewhere in there, so even longer. And it was an everyday occurrence, no fail, knew it was gonna happen, and then the medication didn't actually really help me, so it was just a sense of, okay, I have to deal with this is not good. And that was basically about it. But let me tell you, I do not want to go through that again. I mean, until I get to my next pregnancy. But my doctor also said that since I was like that in the beginning, when it gets closer to the end, I could go through that again as the baby's putting more pressure on my stomach and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not looking forward to that. Hopefully it stays away. But then again, like I said, I can still go 2 weeks and then have a day of vomiting. And I never know when it's gonna hit, so it makes it very difficult to even take a medication at this point to help. But that was one of the worst, and I felt so bad for Ryan because he was, you know, he wanted supper and all this kind of stuff, and I physically could not cook. I just wanted to lay in bed, and of course I wasn't hungry at all because I couldn't think about food. Food or even drinking water was very difficult, and I had to drink water, but that was really difficult because I knew if I drank some water, I was gonna throw it up. So that is definitely the next thing that I dealt with. Another thing is out of breath, which you can probably tell in this video. That is one that I cannot stand. I can't even walk up the stairs to leave my house without being out of breath. And, you know, I wish I could say that that's because I'm out of shape, but it's definitely not. It's just the whole pregnancy thing. And almost sometimes I feel like when I go take a breath, it's almost like the baby takes it away from me. It is the strangest thing. So then you have to sit there and cough, and then it's just a mess in itself. So that is definitely something I've been dealing with or dealt with. Well, actually I'm still dealing with it now, worse now that I'm in my second trimester. The next thing that I had to deal with was tiredness. I was so tired, so exhausted. All I wanted to do was sleep. I would literally come home from whatever I was doing, have a nap, sleep till almost noon because I was so sick, and then I would have a nap around 6 or 7 o'clock, get up again to, you know, visit with Ryan after he got home from work and that kind of thing, and then I'd be going right back to bed at like 9 o'clock all the way until the following morning. I was extremely exhausted, and even now I have bouts of exhaustion where I just want to sleep, even now in my second trimester, but it's not as bad. I can actually feel like I want to get up and move and go do things, and I can get out of my house with no problem. So that is definitely a bonus now that I'm in my second trimester, which I will be doing a more in-depth, more weekly or every 3 weeks or whatever update for my second trimester. The next thing that I've been dealing with from the very beginning, even just before I found out that I was pregnant, is acne. I have never been one, even when I went through puberty, I never dealt with acne, and I would get the odd one here or there. This pregnancy is all up my cheeks, as you can see, on my forehead, all over my chin, and it is awful. It doesn't matter how much you wash your face, it's not gonna go away. If anything, it just flares up when I wash it, or my skin goes really red like it is right now. And it has been something that I've had to deal with. This is minor to what it was. Like, this is like calm. Second trimester, calmness. First trimester was just like I wanted to put a paper bag over my face because I couldn't even stand to look at myself in the mirror. It was so gross. And it wasn't like the kind that you could just pop and leave it and it would go away. No, these are like red, almost looks like a rash, but it's acne and it's awful. And it doesn't matter, I've tried different face washes, nothing helps. It's not going away. I hope that after I have the baby, it goes away, because this is just ridiculous. I cannot stand it. The next thing that I did experience was cravings. Not really cravings, I can't say. More so, I could smell everything, and I still can, but I find that I could smell more of everything in my first trimester. Like, I could smell things that I couldn't smell before, and even now I still can, but more so in my first trimester, probably because I was in that nauseous vomiting stage. Everything made me want to vomit, and it made me feel really gross. Like, especially that's why I couldn't cook supper. It was just awful cooking dinner or whatever. It was just disgusting. The next thing that I did experience was oily skin, which probably went hand in hand with the acne. And now it's not so oily. It's not as bad. I mean, I got a little shimmer there from oil, but first trimester was just like sweat almost. It was like that bad oily. Like, it was just like I was sweating, and I would be like sitting in bed and it would just feel like I was sweating so bad on my face, and I know I wasn't, and you just go like this and your hands would come up just wet from grease, and it was so disgusting. So, and it wasn't from me lack of washing my face. Like, I am one who routinely washes my face, and that was just really awful. The next thing that I experienced, and I'm still kind of experiencing, is nosebleeds, which was very alarming at first because I have never had a nosebleed in my entire life. And this was just like both nostrils, not really that bad, but it was very alarming to me because, like, what the hell is going on? Why is my nose bleeding? I've never had a bloody nose before. So, of course, I asked my doctor, and they're like, no, that's totally normal. That's just something that you're going to have to deal with. Great. I do not want that. And even now, I am experiencing them, and each time it's like, oh my God, is something wrong? Even though I have to keep reminding myself, nothing is wrong. It's okay. It's normal. The next thing that, of course, happened in my first trimester was I got the ultrasound to determine whether the baby had Down syndrome or that kind of testing. And of course, our little munchkin did not want to cooperate. It just wanted to keep its neck crunched up and move around and wiggle in every other direction, just not in the right position that we needed it. So we went back again at 13 weeks because the cutoff was ASAP to get this done. So we went back the following week to try again. And of course, this little baby of ours just wanted to sleep that day and didn't want to move. And every time we'd cough or try to get the baby to move, it would basically punch its fist in the air, basically telling us to F off. Like, come on now, I'm trying to sleep, leave me alone. It was the funniest thing. Its heart rate is really good. It's been in the 140s, 150s every time, so that it makes my heart feel way better, and I know that everything is probably going to be okay. We've heard the heartbeat on the Doppler a few times, which is really exciting for me especially, but that initial fear when they first put that Doppler on you and you takes a minute to find that heartbeat makes my heart almost sink into my chest. just because I did go through a loss, and it is one of the scariest things, and I don't think that fear is ever going to leave. Even now, it's like, okay, I felt a little bit of movement. I know it's probably okay, but it's just that first initial fear that gets you. And that's basically it for my first trimester. Just, I was really sick in bed most of the time. I just wanted to sleep. It was really awful. If you guys experience any of these things, definitely let me know. Oh, and the other thing that I experienced was bleeding gums. And I haven't experienced it a whole lot now, but I've definitely experienced that. And then, of course, you can't get the taste out of your mouth, and it's just a disaster for the rest of the day. But anyways, I think that's all. And the biggest part of my first trimester was a lot of emotional problems, besides like the vomiting was really bad. It was more emotional for me to get through, and even now it's still emotional, but now I've kind of let ease that everything's gonna be okay. It's okay to go buy baby stuff. Where in my first trimester, people would give us some baby stuff, and I'd be like, no, you guys, okay, thanks. Like, you kind of just bare your teeth. Because we did that with our last pregnancy. People were giving us stuff, and then I had to sit and look at it after loss, and it was one of the most difficult things ever, and I didn't want to experience that again. So that is something that I had to deal with, you know, trying to let go of the fact that it's okay to buy baby stuff now. It's okay to, you know, be excited for this pregnancy and get past that fear. But let me tell you, the fear never leaves. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be, you know, in the back of your mind, no matter how far. And I think that fear, like I said, is never going to go away until your baby is in your arms. And even then, it brings on a whole new fear of other issues and other problems and everything else to go along with parenthood. But definitely, if you guys have experienced a pregnancy after loss and you guys experience some of the same things, please leave those comments down below. Or if you guys would just like to talk, you can always email me or contact me on my Instagram or Twitter, which will all be linked down below for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll hopefully have an update up for you guys again soon. If not, I will show you some of the baby stuff we have gotten. Again, we haven't gotten a whole lot just because of that initial fear in the first trimester of holding everybody back. Please don't buy us stuff. I really don't want to have to look at it again. But basically, so far, we just have like a stroller and a car seat, a blanket, a soother, a bottle drying rack. We don't have a whole lot of stuff just because we are waiting for that initial gender reveal kind of thing to buy more stuff and really delve into buying baby stuff. But other than that, I am so grateful to be back filming a video for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!